Hello, good evening, and welcome to DTCC's Dunton Technical Centre Championship, round 5 of our season 5. This time, again, coming from Japan, back to Japan we go for round 5 for the first of the two endurance races that we'll be running this season. This time in another first, the Red Bull Standard. So this is the Adrian Newey designed. Get rid of that. Hold on that. Let's get rid of that volume. So this is the if Adrian Newey could design an F1 car without any rules, this is what he would come up with. So this was the car I think he designed for the game about 2014. So the first time that the drivers will be racing these in the 5 seasons we've done with DTCC so far. So this should be interesting. And in another twist, all the drivers have been asked to do a classic livery. So we've got liveries from around sort of mid 2000s backwards, all the way down to I think 1982. So we'll go through the cars and the liveries in a second. So 45-minute race this one. So effectively it's a combination of the 15 and the 30-minute races that we do in the Group 4s and Group 3s. And this time it's at Kyoto Driving Park. So this is the combined. Kyoto has two different tracks, Yamigiwa and Miyabi, which I think I've pronounced right. And this is the combination of the two in reverse. So it's a long lap. It's a 4.2 mile lap. A lot of it in these cars is flat, so it should be a pretty high paced race. And as per usual, as per the sort of the endurance Group 3 regs, each driver has to use two different compounds of tyre, and they have to start on a different compound to what they qualified. So in the usual format, we had a 10-minute qualifying session to set the grid, and the fastest three go to the back in reverse order. So Little's GP, the championship leader, so Chris Pengelly, who's leading the championship, he only just made the start of the race, so he's at the back even though he didn't qualify, so he didn't get any points at all for qualifying, but starts at the back. And then we had Matt Psycho. He was actually fastest in qualifying, so he starts on pole. So let's go back and have a look at the car. So let's see if we can get a better. Can we get a better view? No. So Chris in the Ferrari. So he's in a classic Ferrari livery. I think it actually might even be from the 70s. So he's at the back. Championship leader at the back, didn't take part in qualifying. So Matt Psycho is actually now, he was fastest in qualifying, so he gets the bonus 4 points for qualifying. He's starting 7th in his 82 Renault. We'll get a closer look at the cars when we get going. And Chris Lewis, who's 3rd in the championship at the moment, he's put a good lap at the end of qualifying in his 85 Tolman, so he's 6th on the grid. Then we've got Daz, who's returning after a few races out, in his 91 Jordan. He was 5th. He was 3rd in qualifying, so he starts 5th. And then we go to the normal order in qualifying. So Jimmy, who did a really cracking job of getting 4th in his, I think, 98 Arrows with his Mikasalo replica helmet. So he's effectively on pole for being 4th quickest in qualifying. Then we got Mike Ross, who's in his, I think, mid to late 2000s McLaren. So he'll be starting 2nd. Then Alex Snooze, he'll be starting 3rd in his Brawn, so a 2009 Brawn. And then Dan, who was slowest in qualifying, he's 4th in his, I think, 98 Jordan. So, all ready to go for round 5. Quick run down the championship before we start. So it's still quite tight, but Chris Pengelly did the triple in the previous round at the rallying. He won all 3 races and got pole and fastest laps. So he's pulled a little bit of a gap now to Matt Sykes, who's 2nd. So 194 plays 185, but only 9 points in it, with 45 points on offer for the win tonight. It's effectively the sprint and the endurance race combined points, so that's not much of a gap. And then we've got Chris Lewis. He's a little bit off now. He's 161, but don't forget drop scores will play out at the end of the season, the best 8 from 10 score, so that's not to say that gap could close. Then in 4th place we've got a pretty tight battle between Mike Ross, who's on 143, and Harry Blake, who's on 131. Then Jimmy is on 116, Dan is on 109, Alex is on 67 with Jam on 66, but Jam's missed 2 rounds so far and he's missing tonight's as well. Then Daz on 25, but he's only done 1 round so far. Then if we look at the teams are very close. So we've got Chris, Pengelly and Dan on 303, hotly followed by Matt and Jimmy on 301, so all to play for there. A little gap, but not that big a gap considering the points on offer. We've got Mike and Harry on 274, and then Chris and Alex 228, because actually, yeah, no, they've got full scores, but Alex missed the last race, so they're a little bit down. And then Darren and James on 91. Unfortunately, they've both missed quite a few races. So there we go. That's the preamble done. Let's crack on with this 45-minute race. It'll be there'll be tyre strategies, there'll be fuel strategies. So I think it won't be a standard 2-stop race. I don't think. I think it'll be all sorts of different strategies. So let's crack on. So go on to the Jimmy's on pole, flashing his lights, ready to go. Rolling start as per usual. 25 laps around this relatively easy track, so a lot of it's flat. There's a couple of tricky sections where the 2 tracks merge. It's in these cars, a lot of it will be flat out, so the fuel degradation will be pretty high. So away we go. So Jimmy Mikasalo leads us away into the first corner, a sort of 3rd gear left-hander. Away he goes, nice clean start from him. Mike's following second and Alex is 3rd. It looks like we've got Daz is already trying to put a move. I think in the back we've already got, so Chris has already gone past Matt Psycho, so Chris is already up to 7th. You see Matt in the Renault with Chris in the Ferrari, and Daz is gone. Daz has already gone off. Oh, he's already spun. Let's have a little watch what happened there. I think he probably came a bit too quick through this very he tagged so he tagged Dan and then broadsided him, and that sent him off. So unlucky there with Daz. That was just a little bit of a shared track space issue there. So Jimmy's still leading to go down the hill into this tricky right into this double left, so you're breaking all the way through it. Easy to go wide there. So Mike in second. Let's watch him, Mike, and Mike's tagged the barrier. That's unfortunate. I think he was probably a bit unlucky there. I don't think the barrier was was really that wide. He's just tagged it. He's down pretty much down the last. So Mike in trouble from the start. Jimmy got a bit of a reprieve there. Mike was looking quite challenging there, but he's got a bit of a reprieve. So we've got Snooze, followed Dan, and then we've got Chris with Chris Pengelly right on his tail. Then we've got Matt right behind him, Chris as well. So let's go on board. Let's see what's going on here as we go around this tight left-hander and up the hill. Should be flat now, so you've got a little king to the left and this long right-hander. This will be flat, and Chris is going to make a move down the inside? I think he is. Let's go have a look. So is Chris gone through? I think he has. Yes, he has. So Chris is up to 4th, Chris Lewis up to 5th, and then we've got Dan and Sudo in a cracking battle as well. So the Brawn defending from the Jordan, and then we've got a battle here going on. It looks like Chris has lost some love, and Matt's going to try and get on the inside. A little bit on. That's Dan gone. So Dan spun as well coming out the last corner. Let's have a look. I think he probably just got a little bit too wide coming out of this last corner, going over the curb. So they both went off. Alex managed to rectify it, and then Alex gets sandwiched by. So Chris is up to 2nd, and Matt is up to 3rd. Oh, I've got a good battle here. Look at that. So sort of 2 or 3 of them fighting the first corner. So Snooze drops down to 5th. Chris Lewis is up to 4th, and Matt's already up to 3rd. Then Chris Pengelly, championship leader, already up to 2nd from the back. So fantastic first lap from him. Getting purples in the first sector on the 2nd lap, but they all do that. So Jimmy out in front with his black Danker arrows, which I think that was the year after Damon Hill left them. So yeah, I think that's 98. So looking good at the moment in the front. There comes Chris in the Ferrari, chasing him down, and then he's got Matt in the Renault, not too far behind him. So Matt in his Renault Tribute 1982 Renault, got the Renault Tribute helmet as well. So Chris is tracing him down there in the 85 Theo Farby Tolman. Show my age now because I know all the drivers. And Alex in his classic Jensen Button brawn. Daz in the George, one of the most very iconic liveries of all time, the 91 Jordan that Schumacher made his debut in. And Mike's chasing him down in his Vodafone McLaren, driven by people like Hamilton, Button and Raikkonen and Montoya. And Dan in his 98 Jordan, which I think was, who have been driving that? I think that was Hill and Ralph Schumacher have been driving that. So back to the front. Jimmy's still hanging on, doing a great job up there in first. Chris is closing him down though. Some of the, see what Chris can see. He's just gone fastest, just gone purple. I think that was probably, yeah, no, Chris has got the quickest lap. So we can see what he can see. It's very quick. This is probably the trickiest section of the track. A little bit of a lift. If you're brave, you can take that flat when you've got fresh tyres and low fuel. Oh, gaining a lot there. Jimmy does a little bit lock up into the right hairpin. There's Matt behind us. Is Chris going to make a move when they come down the hill? So it's flat, and then you brake halfway around this corner. This double left-hander. Swing it out wide. Jimmy's gone a little bit wide. Is Chris going to go past? I think he is. Oh, they're so close. Chris going to make a move now. This is a hard place to pass now. Is this long right-hander, absolutely flat. These cars do suffer from a lot of lots of wind. They have lots of turbulence, so it makes it quite hard to follow. But through the long sweeping corners, it should be a bit easier in these cars. But I know a lot of the drivers were complaining about you get within a sort of second. And Jimmy's got a little bit wide there, a little bit wide. Has Chris got him? Got the wide camera, and whilst these two are battling, Matt is catching up as well, so Chris is going to get a run. Is he up the hill? Let's go on board. Here we go. He's going to try and make a move into this long right-hander, is he? He's got him, I think. No, he hasn't. Oh, yes, he has. I think he's got him. They go alongside each other. Jimmy's still fighting those. They come over the brow into these flat-out S's. Jimmy's still inside. Jimmy takes a bit of grass to avoid him. And Chris is through. So Chris is up to first now. What can he do from there? Jimmy down to second. And now he's got his teammate behind him. Oh, Matt runs a bit wide. Let's go. We got Matt right behind us. Is Matt going to have a lunge? Is Jimmy going to let his teammate through? There he goes. I think he goes through. Yes, he does. So Jimmy lets Matt through, I think. The right thing to do, probably. And away Matt goes in second. So Jimmy just went a little bit wide there. That is such a tricky chicane, these guys. There's so much downforce. So looking back, so there's Chris and the Tolman. He's catching Jimmy. But Jimmy went a little bit wide there. Chris is going to get a little bit of a run. Jimmy's fishtails, they come out. The camera view says down the hill they go. Is Chris going to make a move as they go down the hill? This is a hard place to pass. Swings it out wide. There's Jimmy, puts the power down. It's a tricky corner. Let's go on board with behind us. See, right, we got Chris right behind us. Is he going to go down the inside? Whoa, side by side. It looks like he's done him though. So a good move there by Chris. Threw it down the inside, he's away. So Daz recovering up to fifth now. Bit of a lonely first few laps, so he's up to fifth. Alex is in sixth. Still holding off Mike, which is interesting. Alex is in 47.6, which is 2 seconds quicker than Mike. And Dan is down in eighth. So up the front, Chris Pengelly did a 46.5 and a 46.7. Matt did a 46.5. So Matt slightly quicker on that last lap, but not by much. These two are nip and tuck. Chris is going purple, so going quicker and quicker. They go flying through these S's, absolutely flat. And there's this is flat, but a little cheeky lift. Actually, Chris is lifting a little bit through there, whereas I think Matt is flat, so that's interesting. So let's have a look at the Renault. They modelled on the 82, twice winning Renault in Renault Lewis hands. And they've been leaving a little bit behind. Chris Lewis did a 47.5, and the guys in front have, well, Chris done 46.2. That's fast, super quick from him. Half a second quicker than that. And Jimmy's in the pits, so Jimmy's having an early stop in the arrows. Interesting. That's interesting. So after 5 laps, he's decided to come in. So let's see what's going on here. So Alex is up to 5th now with Chris's stop. Mike's gone up to 6th. Jimmy's 7th. So he's come out in 7th and down in 8th. So So it looks like Chris and Matt are trading, I think, fastest times. We're pretty even. Oh, Chris has got off. Chris Lewis has got off. So he's spun and Daz has taken up third. So it's very hard to get going in these cars as well. And then we've got to change position here as well. So Mike has gone past Alex. Maybe under yellow. Let's have a look there. So Alex goes off. So Mike tries to take advantage of that. Let's go on board. And they come down the hill. Mike's trying to look for a way past. Alex breaks very early, and Mike sweeps out to avoid him. That could be one for the stewards, because I think there was some yellows there. But looking at that, I think that would have been pretty harsh on Mike to get a penalty. So we'll see what the stewards say about that. I think he was basically reacting to Alex slowing down, and probably wouldn't have seen the yellows. So controversy on lap 5. Back to the, as my usual saying, back to the front we go. So Chris is holding Matt. They're doing pretty similar sector times, I think. Matt, Chris has done about 4 attempts off. I think Matt is closing on him by the looks of it. Chris was on the super soft, so we go watch the tyres. So Chris actually started on the faster tyre, but with heavier fuel, which is interesting. Matt is on the soft, so Chris is in. So Chris is coming in. Interesting strategy, I think. He had to jump in literally he jumped in a couple of minutes before the start, so he's probably not really had much time to think of strategy. So he's coming early. So literally a quick splash and dash. New super softs, a tiny bit of fuel. So we'll see how this plays out. So Matt's gone off. Matt has gone off. Interesting. I think he might have been a loss of concentration there with Chris stopping so early. So Matt had just set the fastest lap of the race, so 46.2, and has gone off and has got damage. So that is going to cost him quite a chunk of time. In the meantime, we've got Daz, who's not far behind him, coming down the hill. So if Daz hadn't had his first lap drama, he would be leading. That's interesting. So Daz is putting some good lap times there. He's done 46.9 and then some 47s. Matt and Chris are in the 46s, but Matt's just lost 4 seconds with that off. So Daz isn't out of this at all, both on the softs. Although Matt's got a little bit more fuel left, but so Chris has come out in third, and he's got actually he's a little bit more fuel. Chris Lewis is in fourth, a little bit way behind now. And we've got a battle here, so let's look behind us. So we've got Jimmy and Mike battling. So Jimmy's going to send one down the inside of Mike. So Mike's tyres, he's on the soft, they're starting to go a little bit. Whereas Jimmy's on pretty fresh supers. So this could be advantage Jimmy here as they go up the hill. Let's watch them as they come flashing over the brow through the left king and into this right-hander. Jimmy's going for it, I think Jimmy's got it. Let's have a look, Jimmy's got it, but Mike's going to go side by side as they go into the S's. Over the brow we go. And Mike's got it back, so cracking battle between these two. So Mike battling for all he's worth, holding off Jimmy. Let's go on board with Jimmy. Oh, Mike's got a little bit wide, and Mike's gone. No, and Mike's spun into the pit lane. So an insult to injury. Mike lost it coming out the long right-hander, and now has been forced to take a pit stop. To be honest, his tyres are looking pretty knackered, so it's probably not a bad thing. But he's just changed tyres with no fuel. Interesting. So he's back on the soft, and Dan's just steamed past him. So Dan's on some pretty knackered super soft, so that should be pretty easy for Mike to get past. So we go to the back to the front of the field. So Matt is coming in. No, he's not. Where are we? I just came through. Okay, so Matt's still out there. So Matt's doing at least 7 laps, so is Daz. Chris came in on lap 5, so he's got pretty fresh super soft, so he should be banging in some laps now. But as you can see, Daz's softs are pretty worn, so are Matt's. Similar fuel. Then we got Chris, who's recovering from that spin on lap 5, going a little bit wide, just hangs it, does a wall of death down the outside. But his tyres, you can see his left rear is that spinning these cars can absolutely knacker your tyres. So I think Chris getting the pits and get rid of those. So it's Jimmy, just done a 48 dead, fastest lap so far for him. And then Matt's in. Here we go. So the leader has come in. He will get jumped by Daz for sure. Will he get jumped by Chris? Me. So Daz is taking the lead. So Daz has carried on. So Daz takes the lead. DTCC race, maybe for the first time. Could be wrong there, but I think maybe for the first time. So Chris is in second. He did 49 that lap, so he must have made a mistake there. I think he had made a mistake as well. So that 4 seconds that Matt lost, Chris has kind of handed him back 3. So they're pretty even Stevens now. But Daz is doing lovely, consistent 47s, 47.5, 47.3, 47.4. Chris is, I think, got the pace advantage. He's certainly got the fresher tyres. And Chris has come out just in front of Matt. So Matt will want to get past Chris as soon as he can. So Chris to hold him up, and there we go. Chris, I'm not sure if he let him through or that was just running wide, but he's let Matt through straight away. So that will please Matt. He won't have to lose any time on his super fresh super softs. So he's gone to just over half. It's probably about just around 2/3 of a tank, just under. So he's probably 2 stopping. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does relative to Chris Pengele up in front, who's got less fuel. So he's going to be, his fuel stop will be longer. He's on purple, so he's half a second up so far. And Daz there, he's doing some lovely consistent lap. I imagine he's probably going to be in this lap. So Chris will probably take the lead. We'll see what happens. And then we've got Matt in third, who's trying to claw that gap down to Chris. He's got a bit of an advantage in terms of lap fuel. He came in on lap 7, whereas Chris was lap 5. So I think he's got a little bit of advantage there, but Chris will probably just offset that by doing a little bit of a longer stint. So Chris Lewis in fourth. 250s. His tyres are absolutely shot though. I suppose he doesn't come in, so he's obviously got a game plan and he doesn't want to change. You can see that he's fishtailing all over the place to come to that turn 1. Now he's been caught by Jimmy, and in comes Snooze. Then comes the Brawn, splendid in his 2009 title winning colours. The 1-year wonder that was Brawn. And then down we've got in last, not enjoying his Jordan whatsoever. He's doing a valiant attempt to keep going, which is great. Right, so Daz still leading. Onto lap 9. His tyres are starting to go and his fuel's flashing, so it looks like 9 laps is about all we can get out of the tyres. 7 temps down. You got Chris is already closing him down, closing him quickly now. Chris did a 45.4, whereas Dad did a 47.6, so 2 seconds quicker. So Chris approaching quickly to go up the hill. Is he going to get, he's on another purple as well, so he's flying out there. Matt did a 47.7 on his out lap. Yeah, that'll be his out lap. So he's also doing a PB. He's not on Chris's pace, so Chris is 3 tenths up on his fastest. So this is going to be another fastest lap. So because there is only one race, it's effectively double the points fastest lap here. So Chris gets a bit wide. That's going to lose a bit of time. Daz is in. Daz is in. Here comes the Jordan. So Chris Pengele takes the lead, and I think Matt is easily going to clear. Yeah, here comes Matt over the line. So he's easily going to clear Daz. But interestingly, so Matt does a 45.7. That's quick. Actually quicker than Chris's. And Chris goes a bit wide again. So Chris is 3 tenths up on his fastest, but the last lap was half a second slower. So Jimmy's in as well. So here comes the arrows. Don't forget you have to use 2 different compounds. So I think Matt and Jimmy got the softs out of the way. So they're on supers all the way, I think, to the end. And Chris is in as well. So he's tight. Look at that. His left rear, I don't think I've ever seen a left rear that bad. Look at that. There's nothing left on it at all. So he got to 9 laps. I actually saved a fair bit of fuel as well. So Chris doing his usual fuel saving. We've got a battle up front now. So got Snooze has taken Jimmy. Jimmy will not want to be held. Mind you, Snooze has been in as well pretty recently as well. So both got, whoa, good save here from Alex. But Jimmy's Jimmy's topped up. Interestingly, so Jimmy, I wonder, I don't think you can do it at one stop here unless he turns the engine down. So let's go on board with Jimmy. We come down the hill where Alex and Mike had a little controversy. Still waiting for the steward's decision on that. Double left. We get late apex and get on the power. They're watching now for the back of Alex's car. Jimmy's in that, what's going to say sweet spot, but it's not really, the turbulent air spot. But he's getting a good tow. Is he going to have a go? I don't think he is. He's going on board with Jimmy. It's one of the few real hard-braking places here. He's going to try and go around the outside. I think he's done him. Let's have a look. He has, but Alex is fighting back. Side by side they go around here. Jimmy gives him plenty of room, which is great to see. Up the hill they go, and they are neck and neck. Who's going to get the drag? I think Snooze has got it so far. He also got a better run coming out. He's taking the place back, so lovely little scrap going on between these two. Trying to keep an idea what's going on with the leaders. The leaders look pretty close as well, but we don't want to cut away from these. What can Jimmy do? He's all over the back. Let's go on board. He's all over the back of that Brawn. Look at this very quick right-hander. Easy to understeer off like that. And unfortunately Jimmy plays the... Oh, so Mike's in as well. So Mike was ahead of these guys, but what's he doing? And he's just been passed by Jimmy as well. So we've got a cracking scrap here, and we've got... Yeah, so Mike is just behind Chris and Lewis. So we've got, look at this. We've got 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th all in one shot. Snooze leading the train at the moment. Let's have a quick look what's going up front. So Matt, he's got a bit of an overlap with Chris, so we'll see what plays out with these guys, but let's follow this battle and forth. Snooze is leading, so he's on the super softs. Jimmy's on the super soft with more fuel, with similar tyre deck. Chris is on the softs, and Mike's on the softs with less fuel though, so pretty even Stevens between these four. Should be fairly even pace, so can Alex hang on? He needs the points. Himself and Chris Lewis, because of Alex's missed round last rallying, they need to get the extra points, but Jimmy's definitely closing up on Alex. They go through the transition. This is very tricky corner. It's blind. Very hard to find the apex. Up the hill we go. What's Snooze going to do? They've all got plenty of fuel, so they're not stopping for a while. For Jimmy, we want to get past that Brawn as quickly as we can. There's Chris Lewis in 6th. Mike dropping off a little bit in his softs. So up front, Matt's still leading. We're on lap 12 now already, so we just come up to half distance here. And Matt is doing some pretty consistent laps as well. He's just done his faster at 45.6, and Chris is at 46.9. So he's got more fuel, a lot more fuel than Matt, and he's got his softs on. Matt's got supers on. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out between these the front pair. So Matt is going to stop probably in a couple of laps time. Chris is going a bit longer. Chris is on the purple. But despite his higher fuel, yeah, look at that, he's on the purple. Locking up a little bit there. So Daz is keeping these guys honest as well. He's not that far behind. So let's have a look at what's going on behind. So we've got this train still. It looks like they've broken free a little bit from Mike. And Jimmy now is coming under a little bit of pressure from the Tolman. Stay away from that wall. Mike will tell you all about that wall. So we've got Tolman versus Arrows up for 5th and 6th. Watch on board. Jimmy swings it out wide. We're going to go there. It's the easy flat chicane. Chris up shifting and save a bit of fuel. Braking gains, and Jimmy's getting really close to watch behind. So there's Jimmy. He's got Chris attacking him, and then he's got Alex in front as well. So let's go on board with Jimmy. Watching far, so Chris is not far behind, and then we've got Alex right in front of us. So Jimmy will start getting a tow, but also give it turbulence. But this corner is so easy flat, it should be another problem for turbulence. So Chris is behind us. Going to these flat kinks, which are hard when you're following someone. You can't really see what's coming up. He's getting closer. Let's go have a look. So Jimmy's going to make a move down the inside. I think they touched a little bit. They're side by side. Chris Lewis is trying to get involved as well. Look at this. It's going to be 3 abreast and they come down the pit straight. So Alex is trying to weave to get out the break the toe as they come into the first corner. So Alex is still in front. Jimmy makes a little bit of a move down the inside, but doesn't make it stick. And then you've got Chris Lewis behind as well. So Jimmy all over the back of Alex. So halfway into the race now, having a cracking scrap for 4th, 5th and 6th. Mike's dropped off a little bit, but he won't be too long. But Jimmy has a lunge down the inside. Oh, I think he's got him. Is that a little bit of contact? I'm not sure. Don't think so. Good move. Let's watch that again. So through this flat chicane. I think Chris is going to there, we'll get a better view, and just dives down the inside. A little bit of contact, but I don't think there's anything there. So great move there from Jimmy. Snooze down to 5th, and yeah, we can see Mike in the background, but Alex is not done. He's coming back. We come down to his double left-hander. Oh, Chris gives him a nudge, and Chris sends him off. Oh, right, let's see if Chris is waiting. Yes, he is, and Mike gets through. So Mike, in all of that, he's taking advantage of Chris and Alex coming together, and he's now up to 6th. And Matt's in, so it's a quick look. Matt's coming in, so he's done a 45.65 and 45.657. So Matt's lapping pretty consistently. Let's see what fuel he puts in. So we got this battle now. There's Mike he's trying to hunt down Alex. Got past Chris. Oh, got very big power slide coming out. I think I just knocked him offline, and Chris Lewis just slides on up the inside. So great race for here. So Jimmy now is away. He's thinking this is great. You lot can scrap. I'm going to pull away now. And then we got Daz. Haven't seen much of Daz. Has come up. Matt has come out just in front of Daz. And Matt will be relieved about that. He's on a different strategy than Daz. Daz is on his softs with just over half the tank. Matt looks like he's doing sort of 6 or 7 lap stints, whereas Daz looks like he's going considerably longer. Probably going to do a bit of a splash and dash at the end. So Matt's cleared him, so that allows Matt. Matt is not that far behind Chris now. Let's have a look at Chris. So Chris has got just over half a tank, and Matt's got about 2/3 of a tank, just under. So I think Chris is going a bit long here. He's put a bit more fuel in. Certainly pushing. He's locking the fronts and the rears going into the transition. Such a tricky corner, that one. So he's trying to go a bit longer on this stint. So I think to make up for the fact he did a 5-lap short first stint, he's going longer on the softs, which is a better tyre. He's done a 45.3, so it's not slowing him down. Dan's still going there. Whereas Matt on his he's on his outlap now, so he did a 2:09 for his pit. Chris did a 2, so yeah, I still did a splash and dash. So interesting to see how this is going to play out between the top two. I think Daz is on slightly out of sync with them. He's not far behind Matt. Only a few seconds there. You can see Matt in the shot, but he's on a slightly different strategy. But then again, he's got similar fuel to Matt, so that's a legitimate. He's a legitimate third, that close. So you know, 15 laps. He's not that far behind the leaders. So still doing solid 45. So we got yellow there. What was that for? Who would that have been for? Not sure. So Chris now catching back up to Alex. Resume their battle for 5th. And Mike must have gone off. Let's have a quick look. No, it was a while ago actually. So all that yellow was for. So Mike's in 7th. Then Dan getting yellows, pulls out the way of his teammate. Very noble of him. Actually goes off. As he won't prolong his pain. So Chris is doing a 46.3. Wait, Matt did a 47.5 on his outlap. So we'll see how it plays out next lap. Daz is banging those consistent laps in. You never know what could happen here. The front two start battling, he can still be in. So we got a battle here. So Alex and Chris continuing their battle, and Jimmy's not that far in front of them. So game on for 4th at the moment. Alex has gone a little bit wide. Can Chris take advantage? He has done. So Chris nips up the inside. Alex went a little bit wide. Chris nips up the inside. That chicane is tricky. These cars have got so much downforce. that it's tempting to almost take him flat, but Dan's gone. I think he had an internet problem, so unfortunately Dan has left us. DNF. Valiant attempt, but yeah, I think it's technical problems. So Chris in first place. Yeah, his tyres are starting to go off a little bit. He's trying to do a longer stint. His first stint was short. So he's trying to basically gain that ground back. Let's see what he does on this lap. See Matt in the background. Chris does a 47.1. Matt's coming across the line. This is going to be far more quicker. So Matt does his fastest, 45.4. So Thicken not far off 2 seconds a lap faster here. See Chris's tyres starting to wear, and Matt's lower, his fuel's a bit higher, but his tyres are softer and fresher. And Daz is still doing, look at that, that's Mr. Consistent, that is. 47.4, 47.6, 47.4. Cracking that from Jimmy's in the 48s. Doing a great job in the arrows. He's not far ahead of Chris in the Tolman. Chris has pulled a little bit away from Alex now. But he's got Mike not far behind him, so the battle for fourth is... what's happened there? So Chris has gone past, so Jimmy must have gone off. He had a big gap there, so someone watch here. Must have gone off of the... he backed off a lot there for some reason. Well, that was about. So Chris swoops past, says, yep, you have a bad run at that last corner, I will take you. So what can Jimmy do? Let's go on board with Jimmy now. Can he get Chris back? We watch from behind now. Tricky part of the track, this bit. Don't think there's any way through here. We'll come through this very quick. Oh, Jimmy takes a fair chunk of grass. That's risky out there. There'll be dragons you go that wide. He's still on the Tolman. Inherently, Jimmy's got the pace tonight. So what can he do? You hate the way that fits like that. So over the crest we go, the very picturesque Kyoto driving park. Splendid Mikasalo tribute helmet. So these guys are super close. Oh, Mike, don't be out there, you're going to do that again. Right, some of them what's going on up front. Chris is still leading the Ferrari by a long middle stint. Let's see what the lap times are like now. 46.4 for that lap. So that one Matt did a 45.7, so Chris is stemming the tide a little bit, but Matt is still gaining rapidly. We'll see how this these different strategies play out. So yeah, Matt is virtually flat through there. He's liking the handling of the Renault, and he's 0.2 up on the fastest lap as they go through the first sector. As the fuel starts to go down. These cars do react well to low fuel. They do gain pace as the fuel goes down. Sweeping out and coming back in. Very nice corner that when you get the both apexes hooked up. So he's lost a little bit in that second sector, but he's still purple. He's gained on Chris. So at the back we've got Mike and Snooze both coming in. So Mike's coming in on his softs. Alex is coming on super soft, but Alex has got a fair bit more fuel in his tank, so he should be sure to stop. So let's see who gets out first between these two. Interesting, yeah, they're not running the fuel down, they're running the tyres down. Battle between the pit crews, who's going to take the more fuel in. So Alex is out, and Mike's just behind him, so very close between these two. So that's released Chris and Jimmy is still having a fantastic battle. So Chris has got a little bit wide, Jimmy sneaks up the inside. So beautifully done there from Jimmy. Let's rewind that. So you see he was getting a good toe as they come down the hill. Chris goes a little bit wide, lots of brake, and Jimmy's up the inside. Fantastic driving from these two. So let's have a watch from behind. So looking back from the dorsal fin of Jimmy's car, and they're disappearing, Chris. So it looks like Jimmy's got the measure of Chris. Yeah, it was dorsal fin. Yeah, so Jimmy's got a bit late into the brakes there though. Don't want to do that too often because that will give Chris Lewis a bit of a Giddy up, so yeah, you're going to make mistakes, I'm going to catch you. So, we have 2 championship leaders slugging it out. They're separated by 9 points from the very prosperous rally round as per usual with Chris. He won all 3 rounds. Matt was second in all 3, but it looks like Matt is closing him down. 46.5. So Matt is still firmly in the 45s. Chris is now firmly in the 46s. So Matt's got a second lap advantage. Chris's tyres are looking pretty knackered. So Jimmy's coming in now. Has he done enough to jump Alex and Mike? I think he probably has. Alex is just coming through the S's now. Mike's fueling up, Jimmy's fueling up. Where is Alex? Here he comes around the last corner. I think Jimmy's going to be rolling. It's going to be tight between these 2. Jimmy's rolling. Where is Alex? Here comes Alex over the lines, and Jimmy's just in front. Just in front. Not by much, but enough. So fresh boots for him and lots of fuel, so he'll be going to the end. He's got 8 laps of fuel in there, he hopes. Whereas Snooze is probably going to try and get to the end as well. Mike is, well, that's going to be tight, but he can probably do it. So Chris has come in. So he did, I think that was probably, Matt on lap 18 laps. So Chris did a pretty long stint there. So he got it back. What did he do there? 8 lap stint. So he's got the fuel back in the window. It's going to be a straight fight. Daz is in as well. Interesting. So Daz actually stopped. I think he stopped before Matt, so after Matt. But Matt's, after Matt. So he's coming quite before. Yeah, that's interesting actually. Yeah, he's coming before Matt there. So he's done his last stop. Matt is still out there. I imagine he's running on fumes, so he's going to be coming in this lap as well. So straight fight now. Daz is not that far behind Chris. Not that far behind. Bit of a gap now. The 4th, 5th and 6th have spread out, but Chris has come in. Where's Jimmy? Jimmy's just coming through the S's. Chris is in. Saved a bit of fuel. Run the tyres down. Splash and dash. Get the supers on. Here comes Jimmy around the last corner. Is he going to jump? Chris is rolling now. This is going to be super close. Here comes Chris. Here comes Jimmy. Chris has jumped him. Chris up to 4th. He's on supers. He's got less fuel as well. So what have we got? We've got 7 laps to go. So I think Chris is going to be tight for fuel. Yeah, get 3/4 of a tank, 7 laps. So Matt's in. Matt is in now, so the leaders come in. This is going to be tight between Chris and... So Chris is just coming through the S's. Matt stops. So he's going to have a 6-lap stint to the end on his supers. Chris is on supers too. Come back, get out in front. This is going to be really tight. And given the turbulence in these cars, this is going to be game changing. Chris is coming through, so Chris is coming across the line now. What's Matt doing? Matt is rolling, and Matt's got out just in front of Chris. Look at that. It's so close between them. Chris can see Matt. He's thinking, just another second, and I would have had him. Chris is now in the turbulence of Matt. Can make all the difference. I mean, he's fuming inside that cockpit. But can he pressure manage from mistakes? How close he is. Let's go. We can see from the back of the Renault pointing at the Ferrari. Classic 80s battle. Renault versus Ferrari. Rene Arnoux versus, that would have been probably Gilles Villeneuve and Didier Pironi. So let's see who prevails in this. Matt's got the high ground. He's got very similar fuel. Chris has actually got slightly less fuel than Matt, which is interesting. See how that plays out, but Matt's got the fresher tyres. Chris has got the fastest lap so far. He's got the extra 2 points for a 45.3. So let's see what happens. Let's have a quick shoot down. So Daz on his own pretty much. He's heading towards his first podium with DTCC. It should be a cracking result. He's good in these cars. Chris is 4th, hanging it out. Jimmy 5th. So Chris did a 48.4, Jimmy a 47.7. So Jimmy's quicker. And Snooze is even quicker than that. 47.4 himself, his fastest. So Snooze is doing a good job. Just don't get it out there. And then Mike, a 46.9. So Mike's getting some pace as well. So everything's closing up. Let's have a look at the front though. So Matt leading Chris. They come out the last corner. 5 laps to go. What can Chris do? He's sitting in that 1 second buffer, which means he's getting all that dirty air. That goes a little bit wide, but then takes a late apex. Let's see what Chris is doing. A little bit of a lift. Yeah, you can hear the difference there. Matt was a little lift, but Chris is still gone purple. So despite sitting in the turbulent air of Matt, he's gone purple. They go down the hills, it's flat left, flat right into the double left. That goes a little bit wide. Gets a good exit. Yeah, Chris gets a little bit side squirrely coming out. The Matt, I think, sacrificed a little bit of speed going in, and then gets a really good run coming out. Purple, he's purple, so Matt's trying to get the fastest lap now, trying to break that toe from Chris. What can Chris do? Chris is also purple, even by more, so even though he's in the turbulent air, it's not affecting him that much. Look how close they are, so 2 championship leaders. Chris just ahead of Matt. We don't often see these two scrapping. Now the cracking race in Tokyo. Previous seasons, we've rarely seen the pair of them fighting hammer and tongs on the track. They usually sort of get together for 1 or 2 lap scraps, but this season we're actually seeing the pair of them battle on the track for a decent length of time. So this is cracking stuff. So Dad's a little bit, he's just done a 45.9, so he's getting some pace as well. So he's right on the pace of the 2 in front. Matt actually did a 47 dead there, so Matt does a 45.3, goes quickest. Chris does a 45.275. Look at that, they are less than tenth apart on lap times. And Daz does his fastest, a 45.9, so he's only 6-7 tenths off the 2 leaders. And these 2 are flying, so Chris is still in 4th. He's done a 45.6 as well, so look at that. We've got Chris Lewis 45.6, Daz done a 45.9, so the top 4 are all capable of getting the 45s. So Chris has got some pace out there. Jimmy's a little bit on his own. What we got here? We got Alex and Mike still battling. They've been battling pretty much the whole race. Mike's tired starting to go. Alex is looking a bit better. Keep an eye on that. Up front, Matt's still maintaining that gap. I think Chris is suffering a little bit. He can't get close enough to that turbulent air. I mean, it's not something to get fastest laps, but can he pressure Matt into a mistake? That might be his only hope. Back in the good old days, Matt would probably lead for a couple of laps, then chuck into the scenery. He's a bit more consistent now. He's reveling in that Renault. So what can Chris do? Daz has dropped off a little bit, then Chris on his own a little bit. Can Jimmy catch him, close him down? Jimmy the 49.4. Chris Lewis is now in there. Now he's got a decent strategy and decent tyres on. He's pretty quick. So Jimmy in 5th. Then Snooze comes over the brow. Don't break too early there, Alex. Mike will hit you. Let's have a watch from Mike's car. So we can see Jimmy as well. So there's something to play for here. Not too much of a gap, really. I think one of them was safe from Jimmy, and these 2 have passed him. Mike starts picking up the toe now. Alex chucking the sparks out. His car's look pretty fantastic. Alex covering the inside. Oh, someone's gone off. There was a yellow flag. Who's that? I don't know who that was. Someone must have just gone off for a little bit. Up the hill we go. Mike's still chasing. Let's see what it looks like from the back of Snooze's car. Here we go, following the McLaren. Starting to pick up the toe as they go around. Look at that. So we do get toes from these cars. He's really picking up the toe. Let's watch on board with Mike. Is he going to make a... I don't think that's a good place to try and pass. Oh, it's sideways. This pair of panel bashing as they go into the last corner. Don't we do that 190 miles an hour? So watch it back from Snooze, keeping an eye on what's going on the rest of the track. Mike can have a go into the first corner, not quite close enough. Puff of smoke from Mike. I think I noticed actually Mike and Chris, I think they're not using the ABS assist, which is interesting. That's probably why you see the pair of them lock up a little bit. Oh, Mike's gone really wide going through the chicane. Into the second gear hairpin. Easy to run out wide and get yourself beached on that curb coming out. Down we go. Let's have a quick look at what's going on at the front. Matt has now set the fastest lap of the race, 45.18. Chris is a 45.7, so that turbulence, you can see the tyres now. So even though Matt's tyres are a little bit worn, he's just doing the fastest laps of the race now. Chris's tyres are getting a little bit more knackered. I think that time spent in the turbulent air following Matt has scrubbed his tyres, plus I think he's done a few laps longer on his tyres as well. So he's doing a 7-lap stint I think, whereas Matt's doing 6. But Daz is still doing nicely in the 46s. Not far off the 2 leaders' pace. And Chris Lewis is just under 53, so that must have been him going off. He must have had it off, so look, his fuel is looking tight, his tyres are looking good. Jimmy's front's it's good tyre management from Jimmy. You see his tyres are pretty even all the way 4 tyres, which is good. So, Snooze against Mike. Oh, looks like Mike has made a little error. He's dropped off the back of Snooze. Alex has got a bit of a gap now. We look back to the front. Matt is still holding that sort of 1 second gap to Chris. Times are starting to drop off a little bit now, half second down that split. Can Chris do anything? Has he got anything left? Let's track him, Matt. Go through the S's, watching that Renault go through. Nearly 200 mile an hour through the S's, knocking down the 6. Yeah, you can see the effect of the understeer there. Oh, big off there. As we go into the last lap, I think that might be it for Matt. I think Matt's that little off there from Chris, still doing mid 45s. Excuse me. I think that could be it for Chris. Yeah, he's gone off again, really pushing hard now, but he's got a bit of damage. He can't push too hard because Daz isn't that far behind him. Then we got Jimmy. Jimmy's up to 4th. What has happened to Chris? What has happened to Chris? Oh, Chris hit the barrier. Chris did a Mike. That's the second time he spun out that corner. If he comes out of it, I think he just gets on the grass. Yeah, he just gets on the grass. Unfortunately, the weird game physics spits him out. So, just got on the grass coming out. And he's now got damage as well. And Snooze isn't far behind him either. So, let's see where Matt is on the track. Coming into the hairpin on his final lap, just got to keep it steady now. He's got fastest lap and I think he'll keep that. So this is essentially pole, fastest lap and the win for Matt. So he's sort of almost reversed the effect of the rallying from the last round, and even Stevens pretty much now. So Chris is in 2nd, Daz in 3rd, Jimmy up to 4th now. Brilliant result for Jimmy. That's I think that's his best of the year so far if he can hang on to it. And Chris now has got Snooze behind him, so we got a battle here for the 5th place going all the way to the end. Let's just check where Matt is now. Matt is into the intersection, so let's watch this battle for 5th. They come through the S's for the penultimate time, and Mike is catching up again I think. So Mike is he's had a couple of scruffy laps, he's not that far behind, so what can Chris do? Let's watch Matt. Where's Matt? Matt is coming up now to the long right-hander, so we'll keep an eye on him. So into the final lap for the... oh, Chris has gone wide again. He's suffering with those tyres. I think those tyres are crying enough. So back through the S's, so we'll keep with these guys for a little bit. What can Chris do? Can he... That spin has absolutely wrecked his tyres. So here comes Matt. We'll watch Matt. So, great victory for Matt. He'll be chuffed with that. So, endurance win #1 for the year for Matt. He won the last endurance as well in Spa. Chris comes across 2nd, valiant attempt. So he literally just jumped into the car before the start of the race. So cracking second for him. Did his best. So Daz is coming through. A great podium. What a great podium for Daz. Missed a few races, comes back with a vengeance. So great third. So just coming around this last corner. So Jimmy, he's going to get fourth. Where are we? He's a little bit away yet. So we'll go back to fifth and see what's going on. Keep an eye on Jimmy. Jimmy's just coming up to the intersection now. So we've got a little bit of a lap to go. So look at this. It's getting really close. Look at this. There. Oh, Mike's getting. Oh, look at that. Oh, right there, where's Mike? Has just gone through the fifth. So if we rewind, look like Mike got a bit tail happy. Look, gets a bit tail happy coming out of the intersection. The right-hander loses it, and then Snooze and Chris come together. Let's go back and watch this now. So Chris Lewis with his absolutely knackered tyres. It's a bit wide. Oh, Snooze just dives down the inside. Let's rewind that and go in car with Snooze. So he's trying to take advantage. Chris went a little bit wide there. He took the line and Snooze just batters him out of the way. I'm amazed that wasn't put in as the stewards. So Chris has been completely lynched in there. And Mike comes through in the fifth. So he looked like he was about to go off and he's coming through the fifth. Wow, so I wonder if that's going to get... We've heard from the stewards that the yellow flag incident was seemed to be a racing incident, so no fault there. So Jimmy coming across into the last corner. So wow, proper drama on the last lap. Great fourth for the Arrows. Well done, Jimmy. You'll be pleased with that. Fourth place first, good team points as well. Him and Matt, that's a great race for him. Mike, trials and tribulations, comes in fifth. Snooze has just dropped it on the line. Is he going to get across? I think he does. He's going to be close. He does indeed. Then Chris comes through in sixth, seventh. So wow, what a finish to the race. So let's take a look at that. So eventful race. It was battles all the way through and a scrap for the lead pretty much for the whole race. So Matt takes his third win of the year, I think it is now. He's won, no, fourth actually. I think he's won, yeah, he's won two Group 4s and a Group 3, so that's his fourth win of the year. So he'll be pleased with that. And then Chris comes second, so a good effort because he literally jumped into the car with no idea of strategy. So he gets second place. A great third from Daz. He'll be chuffed with that. First podium, given he's missed a few races. So he's good in these cars. So a good third from Daz. Well done. Then Jimmy, a fourth. I think that is his best position. We'll check the results. I think that's his best position so far. So a cracking fourth in the Arrows for Jimmy. Fifth was Mike after that last lap drama. Started the lap in seventh, came across fifth. So good save there from Mike. And then Alex in sixth. Great battles all the way through the race. Him, Mike, and Jimmy and Chris Lewis. And Chris comes seventh. That's not going to do his championship any good. So drop rounds, you do drop your worst two, which is this is comfortably his worst. So Matt Psycho gets the fastest lap by a couple of attempts from Chris, so maybe even less than that attempt. So good night for Matt in the Renault. Cracking race. Hope everyone enjoyed that. That was our first endurance race of the year. There'll be another for round 10, which will be in the Group C Monsters at St. Croix. So looking at the table now, it's very interesting. We have now got Chris and Matt are tied for the lead on 236 points. And even with drop scores, there's only 2 points between them. So super close for the lead of the championship. Then Chris Lewis has dropped off a little bit now. He's on 191. He's actually under a little bit of pressure from Mike, who's up to 176. Jimmy gains a lot out of that. His best result so far. He gets 152. And then Dan and Harry on 136 and 131 respectively. Darren and James, so they're both on the same score, having both only done 2 rounds apiece. So if we look at the teams, we've actually got a switch. Matt and Jimmy had a super strong round there, first and fourth, so they're now leading with 388. Chris and Dan on 372. So even though Dan didn't finish, he still gets he did enough laps to be counted. So he gets 8th place. Then we've got Harry and Mike on 307, with Chris Lewis and Alex not far behind, 288, and then does and jam on 132. So a cracking endurance race. Next race now, round 6, moves back into the Group 3s and the Group 4s after a couple of rounds of rallying and the Red Bulls. So we're back to sort of the stable Group 3, Group 4s, and that will be at Dragon Trail Seaside. So that will be raced in a week's time, so that'll probably be broadcast in a couple of weeks. So look out for that. That should be interesting. Can Chris come back and do his usual dominant form in the Group 3s and the Group 4s? So lots to play for. Halfway through the championship now, and it's super tight. So thank you very much. This has been round 5 of season 5 of the Dunton Technical Centre Championship. And we've got a comment coming in right at the end. Thank you, Mum. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time.